I was working at the time with Jeffrey Shaw, and he knew Tony Smith quite well, and via that channel we became involved in thinking about visual effects for music. Jeffrey and I have been doing quite a big project at some stage just before Genesis to do with slides, and the inflatables were always in the background in our practice. So with Genesis, Tony Smith and the band very much liked a background complementary to the musical score, and we were left given quite a free hand in interpreting the songs. Of course, there were corrections and discussions, but we could go ahead and find extraordinary imagery to go with their extraordinary music. But I remember very well the making and choosing of the slides, and Jeffrey was more into the organization of the slides, and I was more into the actual shooting, framing, that kind of that aspect. We made a lot of inflatables in the past, and one of the inflatable ideas found its way into The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. For Trick of the Tail, we made 2 movies, and the carpet crawlers were in the first show that we did, but it was slides, and we also thought it would really lend itself for some more animated audiovisual. So we made a film, and it was a great afternoon. We spent with all our friends in the most incredible outfits, based of course on the lyrics of the song, to make this carpet crawling. We've got to get in to get out. Long ago in 1968, I stumbled into a phenomena, which is that a tube of a very lightweight cloth starts to flap about in the wind. We found use for the dancing flowers in Willow's farm in Cypress Ready. The moment he says,
if you go down to Willow Farm to look for butterflies, 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 open your eyes, it's full of surprise. The sun lies at the foot on the rocks, and the musical box.
There was one important new element that came about, which was the laser. And it wasn't supposed to be a laser, but there was an effect which I sort of started thinking about at art school. And when I suggested it to the band and to Tony, they got interested and they said, okay, go ahead and find out if it can be done. So I ended up at a technical institute in Holland, and they said, okay, your solution for this particular problem that you sketch out for us is a laser. And then I said, okay, we're going to use a laser. And these people said, you're absolutely crazy, because you can't use a laser in rock and roll. It's a laboratory instrument. Well, I've experienced that there was a certain ground of truth in that. In my innocence, being totally unexperienced in working with lasers, I thought it would be a nice idea if it would come out of the hand of Phil. You know, he could sort of put the effect into the audience, literally. And it proved that it was a very nice effect, but it was a very difficult thing to do. It's much easier to install the laser effect at a fixed position and just let it do its trick. But the fact that it's pointing at you, that it's handled by Phil himself, and it's really pointed at the audience, proved to be a great feature. People loved it. The first lasers, so that was in Trick of the Tail. We had to be quite close to the effects with the laser, so it had to be front stage. The laser was on stage, which is a delicate glass instrument again, and there's all sorts of knobs to adjust it, and very delicate instrument. And to be able to adjust these knobs, I had to be close to the front stage position. So I was sitting in a little cubicle right underneath Phil, and I could have eye contact, and the right moment I could switch the button and the laser would work, and sometimes I had to tweak it up to its maximum capacity again. Well, the next show, Wind and Wuthering, we were so stupid, in fact, to want another laser yet, as if there were not enough problems. So we had the original laser in the truss from above, and a Krypton laser on the floor, and that is a very super delicate instrument, and it was a lot of problems. But if it worked beautifully, and we had great response from the audience. Certain moment, Tony Smith came to us in Holland. Do you have more ideas for the next show? It was a Saturday morning. We had coffee in a cafe nearby my place, and I sketched on the serviette. I sketched out a notion of 6 mirrors, computer controlled, preferably working in harmony with the laser, and being able to concentrate all the follow spots on Phil, and then follow him around, and then spread all the follow spots out in the room, and smoke and this and that and the other. And we had to do that in 2 months, and it was a killer, but it was also a beautiful effect, and I'm really happy that I did it, but I would never do it again. Even for the musical box.
Never come back, never come back, never come back. Sail away,
I almost forgot that we did these things because it's been so long ago, and I'm quite happy now to be able to reconstruct properly also, because at the time things were much more primitive than now, but to be able to reconstruct both the laser effect and the flowers. For the musical box, for Trick of the Tail. In 2008. It's for their coming tour.